Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Noah,
And I'm Ethan.
and we got ourselves another episode of the Flynn Files. Specifically, what we're going to be covering today is the story trailer that was just released at the San Diego Comic Con for the Wolverine. Dude, like, listen, I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this game. I know I am. What's your take on it?
Oh, 100%. After seeing this trailer, it kind of got me more excited, especially as like a big Sabretooth fan. There's some stuff in there
Right.
that's got me even more hyped, more enthusiastic. But yeah, where's your head at?
So so since the story trailer has kind of released and I've watched it, several times at this point, and we will kind of bring it up so people that maybe haven't seen it can get a chance to see it, or I think this is kind of like one of those trailers that you can watch 100 times and still find something new with it. But a lot of the things that I've seen online that I'm not quite understanding from a personal point of view is first of all, I've seen a lot of people kind of like talking about how like, oh, the game doesn't look good. This looks like PS2 like era like game. And first of all, I'm just kind of thinking like, what the fuck are you talking about? You remember that like PS2 games were like quite literally pixelated? Like
Yeah, no.
get the fuck out of here with that. Like
At
I
this
don't
point, I
understand.
mean, yeah, I think it's also because it's a PS game, so they want to keep going like, oh, it's not on PC, at least not yet. And it's like, oh, the graphics and all this. Like, guys, it looks amazing. I'm super excited for it. I don't know if it's been confirmed whether it's going to run on 30 or 60 FPS. I'm hoping for the 60, but it's not a deal like a make or break it
Right.
for me if it's
Right.
not 60.
Right,
So
because the game looks good. Like I can understand like complaining about certain things. Like we won't really get too much into it today, but like one thing that of a game that I've recently played, the actual Halo campaign evolved that just released, and I was talking to you about this off camera. It's like there's some moments in that game where like because there's so much stuff going on, some of the frames drop right that, and it kind of is like a little laggy. It's like I can understand complaints like that. Like that makes total sense to me, but like
hmm,
just because things aren't quite the way you want, like, and what I've seen specifically to make this make sense is like a lot of people aren't happy about the way that Wolverine himself looks. Like, God forbid he looks like the actor or the voice actor that plays Wolverine. Like, I don't know if they're trying I don't know if they want him to look a little bit more like Hugh Jackman or if they want him to look a little bit more like necessarily what exactly he looked in the comic books, but it's also kind of like it's a different form of media. Like
yeah.
everything doesn't have to be exactly the same all the time. That's what makes it fun and new and interesting is the fact that like it's a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is Insomniac's take on the Wolverine, and I got complete faith in Insomniac. I've loved the last three games they worked on. Yeah, it's like I get the complaints, I understand them, but at the end of the day, come on, guys. I don't think this is the as big a deal as we're making it. But maybe
Right.
I'm wrong.
It's one of those things that like I guess the reason I get kind of irritated about it is the fact that it's like again, I understand there's some things that are valid reasons to complain about, but when you have a studio that has time and time again given us quality games, is like are all of the Spider-Man games necessarily perfect? No, not by all means. Like I have my gripes and complaints about them too, but for the most part they are good genuine games. Like I love to play them, and I think a lot of people do. And so this is even beyond what we originally thought because I remember the discourse around the Wolverine game when everybody was kind of like, are they going to make it PG-13? Or are they going to actually make it rated M for mature? Like what are we going to be doing here? And they have given us that rated M for mature like type of game. So I'm already sort of like I believe in Insomniac. So it's kind of like there's a little bit of griping and complaining in there that I'm like, guys, what are we doing?
Yeah, no. But to get into the actual contents of what this trailer is, what is the most hype thing that trailer showed off for you?
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and show it real quick so people
All
have
right,
an
yeah, let's do that.
opportunity to kind of look at it real quick, and then we can kind of break down real quick what we liked, what we liked about it.
Logan! It's me! Wait!
You came back. I've seen things before.
Humans and mutants can't survive together. I've tried to keep them safe for so long.
Fucking brats.
Inside! Now!
I thought you were back. We were back. We're gonna build a future for mutants. That is why you belong here. Tear the beast. The hunt is ready.
Most people I see clearly. But you.
Just give in!
Remember who you are.
So there we got it. And man, I gotta say, there's a lot about it that I like.
Yeah, no.
I think first of all, the thing that jumps out at me is the fact that what I think Insomniac does best is the fact that, like, yes, it's their take on this video game, and it's not necessarily like a carbon, cut copy exactly from the, comics, but at the same time, it's like I think they do a really good job of blending, like making it look like it's from the page of a comic book, but giving it their own sort of twist.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously my biggest thing on this one is the Sabretooth. I can't wait to see him. My favorite X-Men villain, just Wolverine villain in general. I can't wait to see that dynamic. Looks like he's going to be maybe a companion for maybe the first part of the game before he
Right.
becomes more of the adversary to Wolverine. So that's going to be really excited.
And it might even just be like just a really complicated character as we've seen in the comics where like he might not ever technically be like a straightforward villain type to Wolverine because their relationship is so complicated from the comics that like yeah, I
For
think I
sure.
agree with you. I think from the different trailers that we've seen and what we even saw right there was that they're kind of working together. There looks to be some sort of combos in there. But I feel like unlike, what his relationship with Jean Grey would be as like more like a straightforward companion, Sabretooth is going to be a little bit more like kind of like a challenge, like, oh, which one of us can kill more people, like, mono e mono type of thing. But I agree that there's probably going to be something in the story where, say, like Logan really is going against what Sabretooth's ideals are, and there will be that classic fight between them. I don't think we're going to get out of this game without there being some form of Wolverine versus Sabretooth fight.
Oh, absolutely not. No, we have to have that fight. I obviously don't.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna be the main focal point, but I think it's gonna be like a nice like mid game fight. I think they're gonna save Omega Red probably for the ending, or maybe somebody else. I know.
I
You were pointing out a another character that might possibly in the game.
Right. Well, so let me kind of bring it back up here and just kind of get on the freeze frame of what I was kind of telling you. Um, because, and I did not point this out, I actually discovered this based off of another breakdown that somebody had done. And I just, whenever they said it, I was kind of like, oh, wow.
Future.
So this guy that's standing right behind Wolverine in this frame here, that is supposedly none other than Mr. Sinister before he actually becomes Mr. Sinister.
Uh,
Supposedly.
yeah, so that'll be really cool if that does happen. I mean, who knows? Maybe he could be the final villain, or maybe they're setting up for something else.
I don't know. It's hard to say because so we already know that like with the Sentinels being in there, Trask Industries is going to be really heavily in this game. You've got the Hand that he's going to be fighting throughout the game. You've got the Reavers that are going to be in this game. Omega Red, as you've already mentioned. It's kind of like there's a lot. There's a lot of different aspects that are already kind of being pulled into this game, and I guess the question on everybody's mind is like, what is going to be the main storyline? You can also see Leech that we were kind of talking before we actually recorded that was in that trailer, and we were kind of like wondering like what Leech's role is going to be in this, and I feel like it's going to be that stereotypical storyline since his powers are like kind of like nullifying other mutants' powers. So I feel like whether it's Trask or whoever it is, it could be Mr. Sinister. I don't know. I feel like somebody's going to use Leech's powers to try and like make some sort of weapon out of them to nullify other mutants.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a Days of Future Past kind of vibe. Similar
Right.
enough, we have Mystique in the game, which was the actual person they used in that movie to nullify the mutant X gene. So
Right.
it'd be interesting to see how that kind of comes together. I do not believe we've seen any Magneto or Charles Xavier in this yet, so that's gonna be interesting if there's any mention of them. If they're
Well, that's the thing that's kind of on everybody's mind because the one thing that they did say, and I guess it's kind of like without context, they have confirmed that the X-Men are not a thing in this game. And so the question is like, well, what does that mean? Does it mean like the X-Men have not been formed yet? Or is it kind of like they've all disbanded? Like that's what we're not 100% sure on. Is like when
I'm
they say,
I'm
yeah, go
going
ahead.
towards the they've disbanded. I mean, it's evident from that trailer that Jean and Logan have a past. So maybe
Right,
it's like, they met, kind of like how some in the comics or in the Fox movies where, Jean was a child when she joined and then Wolverine came in later, got connected and then, this is probably taking place years after they disbanded. Now he hasn't seen her in forever.
right. The only thing I will say about that that kind of gets me away from that thinking is that like while we do know that obviously Logan and Jean Grey have always had some sort of relationship or complicated relationship because her main love interest in the X-Men is Scott Summers, Cyclops, and I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around if they would really do a game or like a story where she chose Logan over Scott, like, because I don't see that happening. That's the thing. So it's kind of like, is Scott not around yet? And that's what brings me back to like the in this version of the X-Men, like technically the X-Men got formed older, or is it maybe even like I don't want to go to a story where it's like, oh, Scott is dead, because then that kind of kills the opportunity for a team up game like the X-Men. So I think that's what like is causing also a little bit of people kind of being like, yo, what's going on? Because I don't know if it's necessarily the fact that people are upset about Jean and Wolverine having this relationship in the game. It's just the fact that like they seem so connected that there obviously is like no Scott in this storyline. So it's
Uh,
like what happened?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there could be Scott. I don't know. I mean, they might be saving him too. Who knows? I mean, if they want to add, that confusion and conflict between the relationship building between Logan and Jean, it would be make the most sense to have Scott in there. Funny enough,
Right.
I also noticed. I think a big thing in this trailer is the Hand working in there, and I wonder if that's almost setting up maybe the broader Insomniac verse and hinting at maybe a future game with Daredevil.
Right. It could be.
Because I know a lot of people have been really wanting Insomniac to take hold of Daredevil and make a game out of him. So maybe that's their way of like testing the waters and seeing what's going on with that.
It definitely could be. I don't know. I think there's a lot of questions that are kind of left by this, and it's I guess we won't really know for sure, obviously, until the game comes out. But I know that I feel like there's probably even more that they're going to be releasing last minute because the game is like right around the corner. Release is September 15th. So we've still got a little bit of time until that game comes out. So I'm sure they'll be releasing some stuff here and there. And we'll be back on this channel to talk about everything that they release. So that way, we can try to keep updated with the people like, yo, what's going on in this game? But I am optimistic in this game. I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited with what's going on here.
Oh, for sure. And I can't wait to get ahead of that when we get closer to the release of Marvel's Wolverine.
Absolutely. So I guess that concludes today's video on just, that trailer with that was released at Comic-Con with a Wolverine game. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Are you excited for this game? Are you kind of weary about this game? You don't know what to expect. Just let us know in the comments and stick around for the next video.